in a few simple steps how to puree garlic and prevent it from going bad so you can get a longer shelf life out of things. You've got to love the convenience of fresh peeled garlic. The price isn't bad either. Usually when I cross the border into Buffalo, you can get that, how many pounds is this? 3 pounds of garlic already peeled for under $10 at the Sam's Club. So if you're ever in the position I'm in, and I'll show you what the position is, I use garlic in just about everything I cook. I love garlic, but 3 pounds of garlic is a lot to go through. So what happens is many times it ends up being like this, where there's a bit of rot starting to happen. And unfortunately, I don't have time to use all of it, but I'm on in trying to waste money. So what I usually do, and this is what this video is all about, I trim off the sort of discolored and bad areas. That's going to go into the rubbish. Now, even if you don't have parts going bad, if you want it may be a little bit more work, you can trim off the stem, the sort of stem area. Give it a good wash. Air dry it for a bit. We don't want water in the mix. But that's all I'm doing. I'm going through it now, and I'm just going to chop off the top, and then we'll move on. It did take a few minutes for me to trim it down and to wash it, and I have a paper towel underneath there. I wanted to show you a couple things. There's going to be some of them, yeah, you can't salvage that. The other thing is, some of them you're going to see sort of yellow, translucent sort of color. Those I won't use either, because I find those have already gone bad to the point where it's just going to taint the overall flavor of things. As I move this aside, I think I should let you know that your fingers, your hands, because I've been working with the garlic, will have that strong odor of garlic. So if you wanted to wear gloves, I would highly recommend wearing gloves if you don't want to have that constant garlic smell on your fingers. I've got my food processor. We're just going to dump all the garlic in there. Then it's just a matter of pulsing it. Now you'll notice I'm not using any liquid in there. Later on I will add olive oil to help sort of preserve and keep the freshness of the garlic and flavor and stuff like that. We'll talk about the oil in a second, but the reason why I'm not adding any liquid in here is because I want it with a bit of texture. If you wanted a full puree, you can add the oil in here. Whatever oil you choose to use, you can add it in here. But for me, I'm just going to continue pulsing this until I get nice chunky pieces. Well, not overly chunky, but the sort of consistency and texture that I want. At some point, you will have to stop your food processor, scrape down the sides, because we want this to be nice and even. We don't want, well, I guess it doesn't matter if some of it is more chunky than the other, but just gonna pull down the sides there, back on. Just gonna remove the lid. Just gonna pull my bowl over, and I'm just gonna scrape everything down, and you can see the texture that I'm talking about there that I like. And again, it is totally up to you. You're in control of the texture that you like, you want to create. All that's left to do now is to hit it with whatever oil you want to use. In my case, I'm using an extra light virgin olive oil. Just going to give that a mix, and what the oil is going to do is going to coat this, and it's going to prevent it from going bad on you. The reason why I always try to use a light olive oil is because, one, because it's light on flavor, which means that it won't influence the flavor of the garlic. Just gonna pour some more in there, try to cover it. And I use olive oil, as I said, but if you wanted to use something neutral, a neutral oil, you can do that as well too. Now, if you like the taste of a more rich olive oil in here, I mean to say, do your thing. If you wanted to add coconut oil in here, you can do that too. All I would do now is pour this into whatever container that I'm storing it in, put it in the fridge, and every time I want some garlic, boom, I got a tablespoon, a teaspoon, whatever. I'm just rocking it. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me, email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pod. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie. So you just learned in a few simple steps how to puree garlic and prevent it from going bad so you can get a longer shelf life out of things. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. If you'd like to see more of these how-to kind of tip videos on the Caribbean Pod channel, drop me a thumbs up or a comment down below, and Iman will get some more of these made for you. What I like doing is after I put it in there, I'm just going to hit it another little drizzle of olive oil just on the top. As far as the container, make sure it's clean, it's free of any food or debris and stuff like that. I like using a plastic container, and this is those cheap reusable, well, they're supposed to be recycled, but I might get a few use out of them. I am from the Caribbean, we wash and reuse. If you wanted to use a bottle container or anything like that, that's fine. Just bear in mind that because it's garlic, it may taint it with the flavor even after it's all done. So you may want to designate whatever bottle you're using as your pureed garlic container. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Pureed garlic, longer shelf life. Irie. What's up, soldiers? Don't forget to click subscribe. If you've already clicked subscribe, hit that bell notification thing. I want to all you missing out on the new videos, man. Come on, click.